Do you have friends and family members that no longer speak to you because you did not support Donald Trump? Have you been canceled by these same friends and family members? Unfriended on Facebook, no longer are invited to meals, meetings, or family dinners? I'm going to talk about that today. Hi, I'm David Thompson. Now, we all know somebody that has been sort of unfriended, canceled, and pretty much been outcasted by their friends and family members because they stand against Donald Trump. I've had that same issue. And I will tell you that it can be very unnerving, can be very upsetting, because friends and family members you think would stick by you no matter what. Many people say, well, when the times get tough, you do know who your friends are. Unfortunately, this is very true. So why is Donald Trump so divisive? Now, I go on the air almost every day and I pretty much grind him up and spit him out. There's a lot of negative things to talk about when it comes to Donald Trump. This is what makes him so divisive. He is not a person that you'd want as a friend. He's not someone you would trust. This has been told by many of his own personal friends that found out the hard way that they can't trust him. But many people put their complete faith in him. Thus the divide. Those that don't trust him, those who trust him with their lives. Now, I found an article that had a few different people that have come out and talked about their problems with friends and family members who disagreed with them, many of which they no longer talk to. Now, I'm going to read 3 of these testimonials, and I think you'll find this disgusting when you hear them. And you're going to find out why people have to break ties with friends and family members. Here's the first one. My good friend of many years and I disagree on policy issues, but ultimately, I always felt that she was a good person. I chose to give her the benefit of the doubt when she would say troubling things that were judgmental, cruel, or selfish, because they didn't often occur. Now, we all know people like this. I know you do, because I know I do. However, I have explained multiple times that my spouse depends on the ACA, which is the Affordable Care Act, to have health insurance, which is the only way we can afford treatment for his life-threatening condition, and we still pay a lot for it. The only reason he is alive today is because of Obamacare. This is someone she has spent time with and even come to a party for, and she was still okay with him losing his health care because it saved her money on taxes. Okay, that's pretty terrible. Now, let me tell you, she didn't save any money on taxes. This is the funny thing about this, friends. She did not save any money on taxes. None. Zero, zilch, nada. Because they've been told by these people, by Trump people, and this is why people are divided, because Trump people told them that if we don't give these people health care, that if we get them off health care, it's going to save you money. It's somehow coming directly out of your pocket. This guy's life-saving treatment is coming out of this woman's pocket. No, it's not. No, I know. People want to argue with me. Well, in some way it is, David. You know it is. Listen, grow up, go read your Bible, and find out what's really happening in the real world. Number 2, testimonial. I cut most of my family off in 2016 after they voted for Trump for the first time. It started with a picture of a young Syrian boy who drowned. From the following conversations, I learned that my cousin absolutely believes her children are better and deserve better than that boy. It devolved from there. I realized that our morals and values were nothing alike. Now, in 2024, I have no contact with anyone in my family, even the ones that I kept in my life at a distance after 2016. They voted for someone who doesn't care if my career helping children is defunded, that my child with disability may lose their IEP funding, that my immigrant husband may lose his visa. And she put a side note here, and I wasn't going to read this, friends, but I have to. She went on to say they don't care because they believe their religion gives them the right to hate and discriminate and to govern their own morals and selfishness. And that is something I just can't be a part of. I'll address this. I get a lot of heat for this. I will profess to you that I am a Christian, 100%. I'm not a perfect Christian. I will confess that. I am as imperfect as you can find in a person. I work hard not to be, but we're all weak when it comes to that. But I believe in helping people, and I believe that everybody should be given a fair chance, and we should make sure no one's left behind. Too many people use religion as a reason to hate, to find a way to make people sinners, even though it's not your job to judge anybody. So guess what? All these people that are now on the fringe, whether it's an immigrant or a disabled child or whatever it is, we're not going to fund you because it's costing us money. This is their belief in that we're better than you because we believe differently than you, if they even do. Some of these people are Christians as well that we want to throw under the bus, but they're not as good as us, right? This is my problem with a lot of this, friends. This is my problem, and this is why a lot of people are really upset with me. Here's another one. This is the last one I'm going to read. It says, my youngest brother is now dead to me, thanks to Trump. In a conversation with him about Trump's womanizing, he told me he believes, like Trump does, that any woman who makes a complaint against a man for sexual harassment is nothing but a bitch. I was floored, so I asked him, if my wife or daughters or your wife made a complaint, would you consider them to be bitches too? You guessed it, he said yes. What more can you say on that? Drop the mic. Now, obviously not everybody's like this. But sadly, there's a lot of people like this. A lot. More than you realize. They point their fingers at you and they say, well, that's all sin. We can't deal with it. We're going to tell you it's sin and we're not going to be dealing with you and we're going to take you off your benefits. Whatever. And you know, I never read any of this in my Bible. This is something new. Understand, this is all something new, people. This happened over the last 50 years. I talked about this in a few videos. It evolved. Remember Jerry Falwell and the moral majority? This guy was as racist as you can get. He refused to have blacks in his university. That changed later, but down deep, he was a racist. Now here's my problem. People tend to think that we're just good people. Well, you know, it's one thing to be a good person, like the first example I had. It's another thing to be judgmental, to be hateful, to be spiteful, to put money over people. And we see that a lot today. And Donald Trump used this because he's a man of money. He's a man to make money. He does things, he makes deals to make money. And he's made America believe that somehow that money is more important than anything else. Our budget deficit, whatever it is more important than everything else. Well, as important as some things are. And to get our financial house here in America fixed, it's going to take a lot more than the crazy things he's done. None of it's going to work. None of it. No matter what Caroline Leavitt says, you know, his propaganda minister. I'm ashamed of her, by the way. That's a rabbit hole. But to make people believe that somehow, if you throw enough people off of health care and welfare, you stop feeding children. In fact, I will give you an example. The library I work at, every year WQED, our local nonprofit station, has a program for children, maybe 100 to 200 children, mostly low income. Guess what? Their funding was cut. We thought it was for next year. The $50,000 that they had budgeted was taken away this year. It was projected to be used this year. So guess what? They filled in the gaps, and next year they won't have any programs for these kids. I hope you all feel good about that, right? You feel good, right? You saved $50,000. It really wasn't even $50,000, by the way, because it was only material they bought. The rest would have went back to the government anyway. But we don't care because it's about money. The money men, the money women, we've been talked into it. We've got to cut all this stuff because we're wasting our money. Listen, the drops in the bucket that you've saved have hurt more people than helped you. You're not going to see any dividends from this. You're not going to ever see dividends from this. You know who's going to see dividends? Do you really want to know? Do you? Do you want to know? Tell me. Because it's called the billionaire class. That's who receives the dividends. You get the bone. Maybe a $20 tax break. Maybe a $100 tax break. Maybe a $500 tax break. Is that going to make you rich? Is that going to make you happy? Are you going to be happy on that? You're going to spend that money. It'll be gone in a flash. Yet the people that need health care with life-threatening illnesses, childhood cancer, we have lists and lists of things. Don't get me upset, more upset than I get when I hear this. Throw them off the health care rolls. Let them all die. I go to a pharmacy right down the road here. They said they can't believe how many people can no longer afford their medications. Can't do it. Aren't picking them up. This is the country you want, right? You're going to save money. You're going to save money because these people end up dying. Many of them will. How much money are you going to save? You're going to save what? $1 million? $200 million? $1 billion? How much? It isn't $1 billion. I can tell you it's not $1 billion, and we're dealing with debt in the billions. So guess what? Where are you really going to save? You're not saving anywhere because the heartache you're causing and the ripple effect within the economy is bigger than any savings you're ever going to get. People argue with me about immigrants. I'm tired of it. I'm going to argue with you I'm going to discuss it with you. No, don't. Because you know what? I don't care. I have no problem with immigrants, and probably these people don't either. They don't. They don't even see any half of them. This is what's amazing. They're all criminals and all this stuff. They're destroying our country. Destroying our country. I walk out every day. I go all over the place. I travel. I don't see anything being destroyed by immigrants. You know what I see it being destroyed by? Stupid Americans. Stupid white Americans. Let's put them walls up. Build them walls. And I saw a meme, and this is good. I saw a meme where the Indians put walls up. That's when the walls should have been put up. And then I saw a farther back meme where it said the Aztecs putting up a wall. That's when the wall should have went up. Because once you left the white folks in, they took over and they made sure they took everything. And I'm a white guy, except when I get really tanned. But this is where it's at. This is why people are divided. This is why people are divided. They use their Bible against you. You can't talk about Donald Trump. You can't do it. Well, guess what? If we can't talk about him, he's going to do whatever he wants, legal or illegal, and he's going to get away with anything he wants to get away with because you can't say anything. That's not even the American way. How are we mixing religion with our form of government? This is why you can't do it. You lose either way. This is why the separation of church and state is so important, because you have to be able to criticize your government. It's for the people, by the people, of the people. And when you start screwing people, people are going to notice. There's going to be an uprising. Look at No King's Day. Up to 6 million people, maybe more, went to those streets. Why? Because they are concerned too. It's their right under the Constitution. If you want to go under a king, those of you that want to be ruled by a king, I don't know where there's one that actually rules anymore. There's probably some, but England isn't ruled by a king. They have a parliament and a prime minister. They don't have that. Where are you going to go? You're going to create a throne here? We don't want it. We already told you on Saturday, June 14th, we told you we don't want kings. We'll keep our form of government right now. We're going to keep it, and we're going to work at it. And those of you that want a king, those of you that don't listen to us, guess what we're going to do? In midterms, we're going to vote everyone we can out that pretty much went against the American people and our democracy and our government. 2028, we got to find a guy. We got to find a girl, whoever it is. Whoever's the best candidate we can find, we've got to run them. We got to get them elected, as long as they're for freedom and as long as they're for our Constitution. Because outside of that, you don't want someone that's going to rule over you like a king or a dictator. You don't want it, because then you're in trouble. Then if you're on the outs with that person, you're persecuted. You're going to be deported. You're going to be put in jail. You're going to lose your free speech. That's how it works. So guess what? If you've lost a friend or family member, I feel bad. I feel bad for people who don't agree with me sometimes or have outcasted me in a way. And I notice some people have done it from afar. They haven't said anything to me. They haven't attacked me. But I have seen people, even within my church, that don't really want to talk to me, don't come up to me anymore because of my viewpoints. Well, guess what? My viewpoints are the viewpoints of Jesus. I am woke. I believe in all those things that Jesus believed in. Poor, the homeless, the foreigner, the outcast, the immigrant. I believe in helping those people. I don't want to go down any other road except the road Jesus laid before me. When you start worrying about all this other stuff and somehow they're going to collapse our government, they're going to destroy us and all this stuff, then you've heard Donald Trump's rhetoric too much. Maybe you should take 10 step backs and take a look at what's really happening in America. And it has very little to do with immigration. It has to do with the corruption we've had here for decades. Well, I hope you enjoyed this particular video. Hey, listen, I want to give you a heads up. Like, subscribe, and share this video. We want you to support us. We need to grow our channel. We want to make sure that we can reach more people. Another thing I want to promote is our other channel, the Nights Around the Fire channel, link in the description box. Fantastic channel. We've got some guests coming up. We talk about mysteries, legends, and myths. If you like that stuff, you'll enjoy this particular channel. Thanks for supporting us here. God bless you. And I'll see you next time right here on your favorite channel for news, information, analysis, and commentary, The David Tomsic Show. See ya.